I'm in the middle of a live interview, YouTube video, and I find myself passing out. And it's like I'm panicking I don't know what was happening. I'm panicking. Let me tell you something, depression is real. It's deep and it's dark. I was in a place like I felt as though I was in a bottomless pit with no way of escaping, with no way of coming out. I thought, I was on the verge of death. I kid you not. It's like I had to fight for my life. All of that puts me where I'm at right now, where I'm my mental health is my priority. Hi, I'm Heneka Watkis-Porter, and I am minding my business. And minding my business for me means that I slow down and I live, and that I'm being very intentional about being mindful, about being present. I have been an entrepreneur since 2007. That's when I started Pato Apparel. And since then I have, progressed into, doing a podcast, writing books, speaking, producing and hosting events, all of these things. I remember the times when I would consider myself as just, I'm on team no sleep, go hard or go home, and you're all about the hustle and the grind, because that's what they taught us, whether indirectly or directly as entrepreneurs, to do, to focus on the targets, to focus on the sales, to focus on marketing, to focus on all these other non-human elements, not having necessarily to do with your mind and not taking care of your mind. But I have learned the very hard way. When you pop down, you really can't enjoy nothing, right? I remember specifically being in my office, Saudicka, and I'm looking at all the things on my wall, my accolades. I began to literally resent all of the things that I've accomplished, because I started to blame it on, so if I didn't do all these things, I wouldn't have been burnt out. Now I'm able to put it into perspective and said, you could have slowed down, but at that point when I'm going through the grief and I'm like thinking I'm going to die, I'm not ready to die, but I'm thinking I'm going to die because I'm feeling so lifeless and not able to do anything and panicking, and oh God, it was terrible. So I think for a long time I've always struggled with depression. I didn't even know that they had a name for it, whatever. I didn't even want to call it that, but when I look back, I've always struggled with depression, because from a long time I find myself taking things like Paxil, who takes that? Youngster taking Paxil.
What is that?
It's a drug to treat depression and anxiety, and it's one of those drugs that have been around for so long, but it's one of the most deadly, I can tell you. And so I don't know if I've had to deal with that. And I think it was towards the end of November, the end of the year in 2019, I found myself crying every single day, because I think what happened was that I had slowed down from working. I decided, okay, I'm going to go slower. But when you're an entrepreneur and you're used to going fast, you don't have time to think and be present with your thoughts. When you slow down and you really don't have much doing and you're intentional about it, you find that your thoughts get in the way. And every day, I kid you not, I would wake up crying. I could not tell you why I was crying. I was just crying. You look at me, I'm a ball. It was that bad. And so I went to the doctor. I couldn't sleep, chronic insomnia. I went to the doctor and I got some tablets for sleep aid, prescription sleep aid. It wasn't really helping me for a long time, so I was introduced to marijuana tea, and I started taking the marijuana tea, and it helped me and stuff. And finally I went away, so all of those little things going away and stuff helped a lot, and I came back home and I was fine. But then I realized that I started creeping into the insomnia, started creeping again. And what happened is that I decided to take marijuana tea. I had taken one of those prescription sleep aid the night before. I think I remembered, but thought it would have been out of my system by then. And so the following night I took some marijuana tea, a little too much. I mixed it with milk and boiled it for a long time to get the THC effects. Whew, huge mistake. I am going literally crazy. I could not control what was happening to me. I feel like I was dying. My heart, I was palpitating, drove so many things. And the following day I had to go to the doctor, be on 4 bags of drips and all of these things. All of that had to do with leading from the whole anxiety and depression, which led to chronic insomnia that, I had to be dealing with and stuff. So that was in January. Extremely traumatized because that I was at death's door, right? So extremely traumatized. So fast track now, January, that happened. I'm traumatized, but again, I'm an entrepreneur. I get up, I go, I just kept going, just doing my thing. I had that in 2020 now when COVID is happening, rearing its head in the world now. But the earlier part, I finished a book, my 5th book, Podcast Power. And during that time too, I had 3 speaking engagements in the US. So I just up and I did them in February, didn't give myself any time to heal, didn't think about what was happening. I'm an entrepreneur, I get up and I go, that's what I do. Fast track to April 1, I'm in the middle of a live interview, YouTube video, and I find myself passing out live. Like, okay. So I asked the interviewer for a few moments to just go drink some water. And I'm panicking I don't know what was happening. I'm panicking. I drank the water, drank some juice, and I realized nothing is changing. I said, okay, I have to stop this interview. I went to lay down for a while. Nothing helped me. I laid and I thought, okay, you're tired, so you're just going to feel stronger after a while. No, things just got worse. My pulse rate was extremely high. All of these things, I had to be rushed. The same night the curfew started in Jamaica, I had to be rushed to Andrews Hospital. They couldn't find anything that was wrong with me. This went on for months and months and months with acid reflux, chronic insomnia continuing, no appetite, no energy, just a myriad of things, sensitivity to electronics, everything that you can think of physically was happening. At the end of a couple months into this, I went to a naturopath after having gone to about 10, 11 doctors. I had to eventually go see a naturopath, and this includes psychiatrists as well. I saw a naturopath and she diagnosed me with adrenal fatigue and everything. But all of that, it came down to the fact that I was depressed, and I would have anxiety for no reason at all. I would be anxious. If I tell you the things that made me anxious, she really was crazy. All of that puts me where I'm at right now, where I'm my mental health is my priority. So during the time, part of my routine became very, more spiritually inclined. So, reading the Bible, praying, and so on. And I remember when I was going through the illness, I thought, I was on the verge of death. I kid you not. It's like I had to fight for my life. On being on the verge of death and asking God what's happening and praying and everything, and every single time I'll get a response that I need to slow down. Like in scriptures, it will come to me. I picked up a Daily Bread from 2008, and the first reading for January 1 says the title was Slow Down and Live. Like, okay, message received, right? And when I read it, it was explaining exactly how my life has been. And from that, in this year, January 2021, I actually hosted an event called Slow Down and Live, Health is Wealth. Because I see all of us proudly on this team, no sleep and hustle and grind. That is good. And building and you're going, and you're energized, a bunny, and all these things. And that is good, because there comes a point where you have to really, you have to put in the work. And that is important. But what is equally, if not more important, is that we have to pause and we have to slow down intentionally. No, I am okay just sitting, just doing nothing, just chatting, picking up the phone and talking to people, and sending a message here and there and stuff. And from time to time, I still find myself wanting to go back into my old self, but I have to be intentional and catch myself and hell no, I'm not going back there. I deliberately stop working beyond a certain point, unless it is absolutely necessary and I have a deadline or something. But it's not a norm for me now. Whereas before, I would go up to 11, 12 o'clock. I would do it on weekends. I would be up, and the first thing I'm doing, I'm working. Now I'm up, the first thing I'm doing is having my devotion. Then I'm having, prepping my breakfast, and I'm having my meal at 7, and I'm between 7 and 8. I'm having that time. I'm not on any phone. Before, I would be on the phone. I'm eating and I'm on the phone. I'm in the bathroom and I'm on the phone. No. Those days are so behind me. What I actually do right now is my 7 o'clock breakfast, and my 2 o'clock lunch / dinner. I only have meals 2 times for the day, so intermittent fasting is something that I continue. See me look slim and trim and Africa drink whatever, I lose weight. Because of the intermittent fasting, but I have my meals only 2 times for the day, 7 a.m., 2 p.m. For the most part, it's vegan. So for me, the non-negotiables is my exercise every single day. Well, I don't, yeah, my rest, oh yeah, like my rest, my exercise, my sunlight, my date with myself every morning at 7 and every 2 p.m. That's it. Mental health matters. Mind your own mental health business. You need to be taking care of that because it really matters. Let me tell you something, depression is real. It's deep and it's dark. I was in a place like I felt as though I was in a bottomless pit with no way of escaping, with no way of coming out. That's how bad it was. And so it's important. Don't allow yourself to get there. Seek help, talk to people, slow down and live. And by living, I'm not just saying slow down and live with breath blowing through in your body. And by living, take nothing for granted. Enjoy, the fact that you get up and you're able to smell fresh coffee, or if tea is your thing, that you're able to see the birds and you're able to hear them chirp. You're able to see the wind, the sway, the leaves. You're able to reflect. You're able to stop intentionally and take a deep breath. It's very important. Not be caught up in trying to live other people's life. So we look on Instagram and we look on all these other places and we're saying, oh my God, she's doing so well and I want to do that too. No, play your own game, stay in your own race. There is no traffic in your own lane, stay there. The grass only looks green on the other side, but believe me, it's about the angle and the perspective. So once you take care of your own grass, it can get green too. So don't watch nobody, don't watch no face, just do your thing.